I make a salutation to all victors with a measure of bodies the same as there are atoms in a Buddha field, with a mind directed towards all victors, with the strength of my aspiration for the good life. On the tip of each single atom, Buddhas like atoms sit in the midst of the sons of Buddhas, and so I am totally and completely intent on the Dharma element, which is filled with victors. With a voice having an ocean of intonations, an ocean of letters and syllables, speaking of the virtues of all victors, I praise all the happy ones. With the best flowers, with the best garlands, with the best umbrellas, creams, and musical instruments, with the best lamps, with the best incense, I honor the victors. With the best vestments, with the best fragrances, with powders and compounds similar to Mount Meru, and with the best array of all excellent things, I honor the victors. Whatever unsurpassed and exalted offerings there are, I intend those for all victors. With the strength and determination for the good life, I worship and honor all victors. Whatever wickedness may have been done by me through delusion, hatred, and passion, I confess all of it in the same way with body, speech, and mind. Whatever merit beings have in the 10 directions, from trainees, those beyond training, independent Buddhas, sons of Buddhas, and also all victors, I rejoice in it all. Those lights of the world in the 10 directions, having awakened to awakening, having attained non-attachment, I ask all those lords to turn the unsurpassed wheel of Dharma. Those who desire to realize cessation, I request with my hands folded to remain for as many aeons as there are atoms in a Buddha field, for the happiness and welfare of all beings. Through worship, honoring, teaching, through requesting, asking, and rejoicing, whatever good has been accumulated by me, I offer it all for the attainment of awakening. Good morning, everyone. It's nice to see such a full house. And new faces and old faces. Not old faces, but familiar faces. Some reminders this morning. For those who are new, feel free to participate as much or as little as you feel comfortable. We have bathrooms 2 through those curtains right there and 1 downstairs. Downstairs, we have a community room. If you just need some space, if you feel anxious or need some room, we have a library down there for adults, toys for kids. or vice versa, I suppose. Yeah, and so I'm really happy to be here, and nice to see all of you. We'll start with our 3 refuges on page 3. Everyone. I go for refuge to Buddha, my deeply awakened mind, the living source of understanding and compassion, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to Dharma, the path of mindful living, leading to healing, joy, and enlightenment, the way of peace, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to the Sangha, the loving and supportive community of practice, realizing harmony, awareness, and liberation, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I am aware that the 3 jewels are within my heart. I vow to realize them. I vow to practice mindful breathing and smiling, looking deeply into things. I vow to understand living beings and their suffering. I vow to cultivate loving kindness and compassion, and to practice joy and equanimity. I vow to offer joy to one person in the morning, and to help relieve the grief of one person in the afternoon. I vow to live simply and sanely, content with few possessions, and to keep my body healthy. I vow to let go of all worry and anxiety in order to be light and free. I am aware that I owe so much to my parents, teachers, friends, and all beings. I vow to be worthy of their trust, to practice wholeheartedly, so that understanding and compassion will flower, and I can help living beings be free from their suffering. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. Now, if we can flip over to page 4, we'll recite the Heart Sutra together. Dhamma Prajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra. The Bodhisattva of great compassion from the deep practice of prajna, paramita, perceived the emptiness of all 5 skandhas and delivered all beings from their suffering. O Shariputra, form is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form. Form is emptiness, emptiness form. The same is true of feeling, thought, impulse, and consciousness. O Shariputra, all dharmas are empty. They are not born nor annihilated. They are not defiled nor immaculate. They do not increase nor decrease. So in emptiness, no form, no feeling, no thought, no impulse, no consciousness. No eye, ear,
taste, touch, or objects of mind, no realm of sight, no realm of consciousness, no ignorance, nor extinction of ignorance, no old age and death, nor extinction of them, no suffering, no cause of suffering, no cease from suffering, no path to lead out of suffering, no knowledge, no attainment, no realization, for there is nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva holds on to nothing but prajna, paramita. Therefore the mind is clear of any delusive hindrance. Without hindrance there is no fear. Away from all delusive views, one reaches final nirvana. All Buddhas of past, present, and future, through faith in prajna, paramita, attain to the highest perfect enlightenment. Know then the prajna, paramita, is the great Dharani, radiant, fearless mantra, the utmost supreme mantra, which is capable of allaying all pain. This is true beyond all doubt. Proclaim now the highest wisdom, the prajna, paramita. Gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisattva. Gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisattva. Gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisattva. Dharma, prajna, paramita, hridaya, sutra.
Everyone, please have a seat. Good morning again, everyone. I'm Ryan. Today I'm going to be continuing a little bit off of Kunga was talking about last time with Samantabhadra. If any of you were here last time, it was a great talk, and he talked a lot about the 7-limb prayer, which is a practice of Samantabhadra. Today I want to talk a little bit more about Samantabhadra and maybe the history around that bodhisattva. So the students in our Bodhisattva program are still chugging along. They're working with their practice. They're working hard. And so to support them, we've been using our recent talks, some of us, to introduce the great Bodhisattva figures of legend that are mentioned frequently in the Mahayana Buddhist texts, but that aren't yet a part of our cultural heritage here in the Western world. So last time, I talked about our friend Avalokiteshvara over there, Guan Yin, the Bodhisattva of great compassion. She's the one that delivers the Heart Sutra to the Buddha's disciple Shariputra that we just said. For those of you who are new to Buddhism and maybe aren't familiar with the term, a bodhisattva is someone who's taken a vow to work diligently to free all beings from suffering. Specifically, our translation of the vow that we say at the end of every service is, all beings, one body, I vow to liberate. Endless blind passions, I vow to uproot. Dharma gates without number, I vow to penetrate. The great way of Buddha, I vow to attain. Now, there are baby bodhisattvas, like the teachers here, the students, the practitioners, who take this vow seriously and try every day to bring it to fruition in our lives. Then there are the Mahasattva bodhisattvas, these great folkloric figures who amalgamate or inhabit many historic heroes of Buddhism and come to exemplify certain qualities of enlightenment and practice in grounded and down-to-earth ways. So Avalokiteshvara is one of these great bodhisattvas. She's one of the group called the Big Three, and that consists of Avalokiteshvara, Samantabhadra, and Manjushri. So today I want to talk more about Samantabhadra, the bodhisattva of skillful action. It's no secret maybe that the world seems a little out of balance right now. When you talk to people, you get a sense that people are scared or worried or anxious. We see systemic problems, and a lot of us are feeling paralyzed. At least I know sometimes I do. We want to help things, but we don't really know what to do, or we don't know how to do it, or we feel like the problems are so big that nothing is making a difference. This is where Samantabhadra can help. He's the representation of what to do. He's the bodhisattva of skillful action. Manjushri, who we'll meet some other time, represents the essence of wisdom, the sharp, cutting insight that sees through delusions. Samantabhadra, who's paired with Manjushri, represents the application of that wisdom. He's sort of the how-to of our practice, of our spiritual life. He represents the application of wisdom directly to the world through skillful actions. In Sanskrit, Samantabhadra means universally worthy or universally good. In China, he's known as Puxian, and in Japan as Fujin. Regardless of his name, his function remains the same. As the bodhisattva, the skillful application of wisdom, he is the guiding light of the engaged Buddhist movement. This is where people seek to address social issues and conflicts, but informed by Buddhist principles of wisdom and compassion. Samantabhadra prefers to act behind the scenes whenever possible, but does not shy away from social conflicts. He maintains the bodhisattva vow in the realm of social structures and systems, and works for changes that will ultimately lead towards universal awakening. Even while immersed in worldly missions, part of Samantabhadra's character is solitary and devotional, seeing all of his activity as a simple offering to the vision of awakening. In tantric visualization exercises devoted to him, the visualizer at some point sees Samantabhadra interpenetrating with all things. This leads to him being considered the bodhisattva of interbeing. He teaches that objects aren't real in the way we commonly think of them, but they're nothing instead more than interconnected patterns that are not separate from ourselves. All things interpenetrate, and this causes them to be vitally joined in the enlightening work of the bodhisattvas. Samantabhadra teaches us that the world's not full of dead inanimate objects, but of living demonstrations of the interconnectedness of all beings. Things flow between me and you. Nothing is one separate thing. Sometimes Samantabhadra, because of this, is used as a mascot of, or a champion, let's say, of environmentalism, due to the ecological implications of his teachings. If we're all one thing, what sense does it make to pollute and damage ourselves needlessly? If your right hand is on fire, it makes no sense for the left hand to say, glad that's not me. The world's an intricate system in which all parts are integral to the whole. When we pollute the river, we're polluting our own bloodstream. Samantabhadra's skillful action is centered on guarding and caring for the world, as if it were our own body, because it is. To understand Samantabhadra's importance, we have to look at the Avatamsaka Sutra. It's sometimes known as the Flower Ornament Sutra. I didn't bring one. There's one downstairs. It's a massive text. It's a huge work. It's foundational to many East Asian schools of Buddhism, including the one from which this temple is descended. I spent like a year on it during my training. In the final section of the book, which the translator Thomas Clary calls the greatest drama of the Buddhist canon, we follow a young student of the Bodhisattva path named Sudana. So he seeks out the Bodhisattva of wisdom, Manjushri, and comes upon him in a forest. He asks Manjushri, how does one follow the Bodhisattva path from initiation to fulfillment, from the beginning to the end? Manjushri tells him about a monk who lives on the mountains to the south. Go to him, he says. Go ask him. Sudana goes and finds the monk, who gives him a small piece of wisdom, and then sends him on further south to another teacher. This commences a legendary pilgrimage where 52 times this happens. So along the way, Sudana meets wise men and women. He meets monks and beggars and hermits and kings and monsters in there. They all teach him part of the Bodhisattva path before sending him on to the next. Eventually, he develops a mind as vast as space itself, which allows him to come before the final teacher, Samantabhadra. As he stands before Samantabhadra, he realizes that enlightenment is not something to be found at the end of his path. It was the path itself. It's boundless, compassionate action that leads to infinite service. There's nothing outside of himself that needed to be gained. And only when Sudana realized that his own liberation was inseparable from the liberation of all beings was he ready to stand before Samantabhadra. Samantabhadra then delivers the great vows that he'll become famous for, that Kunga talked a lot about last week, the aspiration prayer. We did the heart, or as the bell chant this morning, a small part of it. And he promises to guide and protect those who practice the Bodhisattva way as they progress towards Buddhahood. Samantabhadra is often depicted sitting on a white elephant. When I decided to do this, I've been doing talks on bodhisattvas, and when I knew that I was doing that, I ordered a Samantabhadra statue so that I'd have something so you guys could all look at. It got lost in the ether somewhere, which is funny because Sudana had to visit 52 teachers. I feel like it's the universe telling me I'm not quite ready to see Samantabhadra yet, so I'll keep working. But Samantabhadra is often depicted sitting atop a white elephant. In the Tantras, this elephant is seen as having 6 tusks and 7 legs, 7 limbs for the 7-limb prayer, right? So why an elephant? An elephant represents power and stability and groundedness. It moves with deliberate, unstoppable force. Like skillful action, it's not impulsive. It can't be impulsive. It has to be steady. The 6 tusks represent the 6 paramitas for the elephant. So Samantabhadra himself, you'll see him sitting calmly and dignified upon the elephant. His appearance is fairly standard as it comes to like bodhisattva iconography. He's usually wearing garb associated with princes from early India. He's almost always stoic and serene, but his elephants can be wildly expressive. So this represents the fact that while the internal state of the practitioner is one of equanimity, the vehicle of our action in the world can be vibrant and energetic. Sometimes you'll see riderless elephants outside temples as guardians outside temples, which suggests Samantabhadra's presence without actually depicting him. So one of the interesting things about Samantabhadra is that he's difficult to encounter. Our friend Sudana had to visit 52 other teachers first and develop a mind as vast as space and free from all attachments, immersed in the ocean of all enlightened teachings, before he was able to meet Samantabhadra. Appropriately, images of Samantabhadra are a relative rarity in Mahayana temples compared to his outsized importance in the sutras and the importance of the Avatamsaka Sutra throughout East Asia in particular. The sutras specify that to see him is especially unusual and difficult, and a product of great practice. Samantabhadra is supposed to be particularly auspicious, so hopefully this talk today can lead to the groundwork for some good merit for all of us. Samantabhadra is most famous for his set of great vows. Kunga talked a lot about those last week. Summarized, they're to respect those who have reached enlightenment, to study and teach the Dharma, to confess one's past mistakes, and to work for the benefit of all beings. Now, confession in there isn't something that we talk a lot about in Buddhism. It's a lot like some of the traditions we may have moved away from here. But in the Buddhist context, confession or repentance is about acknowledging where we're stuck in our practice. It's something that occurs a lot throughout Eastern and traditional Buddhist sects. Sometimes it's an individual practice. Sometimes in the Vinaya, it comes up a lot. It's a confession ceremony before an assembled group of the practitioners' peers or of their community. So when we hold on to guilt or shame, we can create these stumbling blocks, these blockages in our practice. Samantabhadra teaches us that we must periodically clear the air. Our Gatha of Atonement at the end of the service, as well as somewhat of our joys and concerns that we do. These are modern westernized versions of these practices of Samantabhadra. We say, for all unskillful action ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thoughts, now I atone for them all. It's not about asking for a higher power for forgiveness or anyone else for forgiveness here. It's about looking at our own selves, at our own shadows, and saying, I see you, I'll do better. And it takes away the power. Not necessarily I'll do better, but I will keep working on it. I will get to where I want to be. I will keep walking the path in a way that is evolved from where I was walking it yesterday. It takes away the power that our secrets have over us. Due to this part of the vow, the confession is something that's often associated with Samantabhadra. He's often the bodhisattva to whom one confesses. The elaborate tantric practice that I briefly mentioned earlier, that to witness Samantabhadra and his elephant interpenetrating with all things, must be preceded by repentance practices. Depending on the state of the practitioner's karma, these can be anywhere from a day to 21 days to multiple lifetimes. One of the other vows of Samantabhadra is to study and to teach the Dharma. And this doesn't just mean the typical student-teacher relationship that we think of a lot in modern Western or in traditional Buddhism for that matter. To study the Dharma with Samantabhadra can be done in everyday activities, from formal sitting to seeing a lotus blossom to observing the sunset on the ocean, from fear, from old age, from anxiety, from death. These are all things that can teach the Dharma that we can learn from. Similarly, teaching the Dharma, one of his vows, should be done through our activities, through our practice of engaged Buddhism, through your poise and your manner, through the kindness shown to others. Samantabhadra's concept of skillful action, applying wisdom to the world, is a lot more involved than just reading and teaching the sutras. You have to be the sutra. You have to be peace. You have to live the vow. The last section of his great vow, to benefit all beings, is the practice and the culmination of the bodhisattva path, right? Through skillful action, God does what is necessary to help beings. Sometimes these are small personal actions, but sometimes it means recognizing systemic problems and working to change the laws or structures that we see that produce suffering. Samantabhadra doesn't distinguish between spiritual work and social work. To him, they're one and the same. These vows are grand, but we can use them in our practice by translating them into small, repeatable practices. Regular compassion meditations, explicit intentions to relieve harm, concrete projects of service. Our Sangha helps make these vows actionable by providing a community which we can grow with, which we can give to and take feedback from. Bodhisattva conduct doesn't have to be grand, and it almost never is. It's in our daily lives that the work is done, whether it's parenting as a compassionate presence for a child, or it's doing a good job at work as service to the world. And that's really why I wanted to talk about Samantabhadra today. His commitment not only to universal awakening, but also to specific helpful actions, expresses an attitude and practice that we can emulate to find our own inner fulfillment. His great vows are a tool we can use to strengthen our personal vows and intentions. Samantabhadra's vows help keep him active in the world, carrying out programs to transform society and its conditions on behalf of the development and awakening of all beings. An interesting thing about enlightened and enlightening actions is that Avatamsaka teachings, the Avatamsaka Sutra, it's grand and it's cosmic. Through emptiness, through inner being, through this inner penetration, we're all one. I don't exist independently, and neither do you. So every action we do affects not just the doer and the receiver, but everything in its entirety. The Avatamsaka is where the metaphor of Indra's net comes from, which we talk about a lot here. It's a vast net that stretches infinitely in all directions through the cosmos. At every intersection of the net, there's a jewel. And because the jewels are polished and clear, each jewel reflects every other jewel in the net. If you touch one part of the net, the vibration moves through the whole thing, reflecting infinitely forever in each jewel. This means that every good deed resonates infinitely, and every virtuous act brings infinite benefit. If we really think about what that means for a minute, when we act with mindfulness and kindness, you're not just doing a good deed for one person, you're plucking a string on the cosmic net. And that vibration cascades throughout time and space. Every action we take generates karma that reverberates out everywhere, throughout all time. Anything we do with mindfulness can be a sacred act, a skillful action that brings us merit and makes the world a better place. There's no small actions in the eyes of Samantabhadra. To bring this talk to a close, I hope that we can all use a little bit of the example of Samantabhadra to avoid burnout and hopelessness with the state of the world right now. Samantabhadra is not the bodhisattva of action. He's the bodhisattva of skillful action. It's about the application of wisdom to the world through action. So if you're scrolling on your phone and you see something that makes you angry, and I think it's important to remember that things on your phone are often designed to make you angry because that generates engagement, don't get up and act in anger, and you're watering the seeds of unskillful karma. That's not helping the world. Just sit. Sitting is helping. You're clearing the muddy waters of your mind. You're stabilizing the elephant. When you act skillfully from a place of wisdom, that's the time to do something. You'll know when the time is right. So remember what we said earlier. The world's an intricate system in which all parts are integral to the whole. You're part of that whole. I am part of that whole. When one of us is out of balance, the whole system is out of balance. The work of the bodhisattva is to remove all of the craving and delusion in the system. That means mine, but it also means yours. Finding peace within yourself is a skillful action. It is an act of service. Use Samantabhadra as a guide. Do what you can, where you can, with what you have, and remember that we are all in this together. Thank you. Now we get to do a little meditation together. This will be about 10 minutes, so please prepare yourself for meditation. Thanks, everyone. Now we will do our practice of sharing joys and concerns. We'll have a microphone that can go around, and feel free to share with the room things that bring you joy, things that you're concerned about, or that bring you maybe some less joy or sorrow. So please, thanks. Happy to hear from you.
My name's Kshanti Baba, or Angel. I just have a joy to share. And I can't help but involve my cat because he is like such a great teacher consistently. So this morning, my cat was going to the door and like wanted to open the slider. I'm like, it's probably cold. And I'm like, it's been warm. This is a great idea. So we opened the slider. And then my son went outside and he was like, oh, it's so great out here. And I just followed him out there, and we just spent like 10 minutes watching the birds. They like called each other and had a meeting and then dispersed. And they were like just really observing all like the creatures and everything and finding nests in the trees. And then Wes looked in and he's like, look, Genghis went inside. He's meditating. And he went inside and he sat next to Genghis and like meditated for a minute. And it's like all these things that mean so much to me that I can't teach him. My cat can. And I feel so deeply grateful for that. And it's also like really helpful for me to like release him and not be overly attached to teaching him all these things and see that he has so many teachers all around him. So I'm just feel really grateful for that moment we had this morning. So thank you.
I'll jump in. My name is Chungo Su Ashton. When I was a kid, my teachers thought I had ADD, and my mom was real against any kind of medication. And just recently, we're exploring this with my son and with myself. So we both have been going through testing recently, and I find out, kind of the results next week. So I'm really curious about that, but I struggle with starting things for whatever reason. I kind of have this barrier in my head about starting things. And I've been working on this Rakusu for ages, it seems. And some of us met together yesterday, and I also struggled with like perfectionism. And as I was, sewing this, I was making mistakes left and right. And, from listening to, our teachers, and, encouraging just to let go of the mistakes and not dwell on them, and just, nothing is perfect. It could be upside down, could be backwards, don't beat yourself up about it. And that really carried with me through a lot of what I did the rest of the day yesterday. I got home and realized I'd made dinner plans with some friends that I forgot about. And they texted me and said, on our way. I'm like, oh shit. So I got the day wrong there, but I was able to like let it go and like, did what I could and like was able to flow with it. And I really owe it back to that, just messing up stitches and, reflecting on that. So.
I have one. Yesterday, I was teaching my middle daughter to ride a bike, and with all of the ups and downs that entails, and she gets going around a circle and way too fast for the skill level she was at, and she's really going in 100 miles an hour, and there's these two picnic tables, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, she's gonna slam into these picnic tables. She goes right through them and she crashes, but she missed the picnic tables, which would have been so along with these children are great and wonderful, and are giving me gray hairs. So thank you all.
Hello, Sangha. My name is Smirti, and I have a joy. Just the weather these last few days has been so wonderful. Friday, particularly, it was sunny, warm, just awesome outside. And my wife and I took our dog out to Huff Park for a walk around and just let her pick where she wanted to go. And it was just really wonderful. So.
Good morning. My name is Irene. I have a concern. My grandma isn't doing great right now. She has mobility issues and she's in pain. And she lives in Mexico, so she's really far away. But yeah, just keeping her in mind. And a joy I have also is I've been spending a lot of time outside and seeing my friends, and I finally mustered up the courage to speak. I've been coming here for like 2 years and I've never shared a joy or concern, so thank you.
Good morning, Sangha. My name is Samya Gajiva. Of course, it's a joy to be here, and it's so beautiful out. Spring is here. For me, spring is a great time, but also it can be a challenging time. I'm a beekeeper. That's like my full-time job now. And winter is definitely very challenging for me, experiencing lots of death all throughout the winter. This year was another especially difficult year for me, losing just a lot of colonies. And spring is beautiful because you get to start to see the bees coming out and flying and collecting pollen already. But it's definitely been a very challenging year, and I always hesitate to talk about this as a concern because I'm always like, oh man, what if more bees die? And I say the percentage, and it's like it could just keep getting worse. But it's just a challenge and a struggle of mine. So thank you.
We do have one from online. Deb says, my joy is that I am sharing this service with my 13-year-old grandson, Jaden. He is studying world religion in school. My concern is for our country and the suffering of the people in this world.
All right. That's it. Okay. Thank you all for sharing. Let's take a moment to keep all of those joys and concerns in our hearts. Thank you all. Now we have temple announcements. It's the end of the month, so we don't have as many. Let's see. The potluck has already happened. We have an online meditation group on Wednesdays from 6 to 6:45. You may join via Zoom. Contact the Venerable Kunga or to see the newsletter for more information on that. We have a Thursday morning Dharma discussion group. That's at 9:30 to 11 on Thursday mornings in the temple basement. We read a book, but we read it aloud together. We will go on summer break, and I think we have 9 sessions left. You can email me or see the newsletter for more information about that. It's really fun. Please join us. Fundamentals of Buddhism class happened this month. We have a mutual aid Sangha pantry downstairs. There's a pantry for the Sangha, so please feel free to take anything you need, or for anyone who you know may need something. It's well stocked. It's a great resource. Feel free to donate if you have extra things and are able. We have Buddhist-based recovery programs here on Mondays and Wednesdays. Mondays and Fridays. The Monday one is 6:30 for meditation and 7 p.m. for the meeting. The Wednesday one is at the Alano Club at 6:30. That's on College Avenue. And then on Fridays, it's a morning one at 10:05 is the meditation, and then 10:30 is the meeting, or you may join via Zoom. See the newsletter for more information on that. And then you can always see our newsletter or our website to see what we have coming up in the month of April, which is coming up fast. And then for that, we will stand and say our closing gathas to end our service. These are on page... Oh, yes. Yes. Sorry. Please have a seat. I just want to go. Yes. Sure.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for sitting down for one more announcement. The Buddhist Mutual Aid Sangha is still trying to raise some money for an individual in need. This is someone who lost their job not long ago after receiving some inpatient care and has needed some help with rent while they get back up on their feet. And there's some good news. New job has come up. This person has a new job, but there's still going to take a little bit of time before paychecks actually start coming in. So to help them with that period before paychecks coming in, we're still hoping to raise a bit more money. Thank you to all who have donated to help them so far. To provide a level of anonymity for this individual and also accountability in the collecting and distributing of funds. We have a team of 3, myself, Alex, Erdi, Sucha, Max here, if you can raise your hand, and Reverend Sunshine, that we're together kind of coordinating this, helping to coordinate this. So if you would like to donate to help this person, we have a Cash App handle that we can share with you so that you can give directly to them. So feel free to approach any of us if you would like to contribute some more help. Yeah, thank you.
That reminds me, thank you for sharing that. Also, the Donna announcement. If anybody would like to, or I will do it. Oh, thank you.
All right. Thanks for reminding us of the Dana announcement, too. Dana is one of the 6 paramitas or 6 perfections. It's the generosity. So there are so many ways that we can be generous with our time and our resources. Here at the temple, there's a group called Dharma Disciples, and we have a text chain, and we participate in things like being the greeter, lighting incense, giving this announcement, helping to clean the temple, so just giving of our time. So if you're interested in being part of that, you can ask anyone in gray, or Chango Su, are you the one who organizes that? Chango Su would be the person to talk to. And also, this temple is run completely voluntary, so nobody here is paid for any of their time or services. So we also have Dana boxes where you can donate money to help keep the lights on, keep the water running, keep this place running so we can continue to serve one another. There's a QR code on the Dana box as well, and then there's a drop down on the YouTube page if you'd like to give that way. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Are there any other announcements that I am forgetting? All right, great. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Okay. All right, our gathas are on page 6. For all unskillful action ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thoughts, now I atone for them all. Vast is the robe of compassion, a formless field of benefaction. I wear the Buddha's teachings for the benefit of all sentient beings. All beings, one body, I vow to liberate. Endless blind passion, I vow to uproot. Dharma gates without number, I vow to enter. The great way of Buddha, I vow to retain. Now, if we could please split in half, and we will bow together. Also, after service, please join us downstairs for tea and conversation. Thank you.